Hello everyone, my name is CharryOn, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in the world on a rainy day after having survived our very first temporal storm right over there in that storm shelter slash farm. We didn't get much, don't have much to show for it, just a few pieces of flax, but it's something. And the coattails of that storm seem to have brought in a regular storm, which is nice because that will max out the moisture in our fields, as well as it may cause mushrooms to grow. So some mushrooms will respawn just over time, but a lot of them, especially ones out in fields like this, they require rain. And right over here, we have our first puffball mushroom that is about ready for harvest here. That isn't the only thing that blew in with the temporal storm. We also got an update to Vintage Story 1.22.3, and that brings some very good changes. For one, pigs and sheep will no longer be aggressive towards you after Generation 2, meaning starting with Generation 3, they will no longer attack you, although no word on whether they'll still be avoidant. I believe this might still mean that when there are young around, they'll still be vicious towards you, but as long as there aren't any piglets or sheeplets, lambs, then they might still be aggressive toward you till Generation 10. But that's fine, honestly. Other changes include that your tamed elk will no longer eat your own crops. There are improvements to water wheel construction, improved compatibility when playing on a Mac, but who does that? Everyone knows Linux is king, and lots of other bug fixes for axles, lanterns, the handbook, and crashes. Additionally, red top grass, which you see right here, no longer counts as a valid flower for feeding to bees. And that's going to be important today because we are going to explore the lighting options available, to us in the early game. I heard that. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay, let's get him. Woo! Where is he? Oh, here you are. Get out of here. Oh, I think he's gone. We got him. Oh, there's something down here. There's some kind of mysterious rock down here. What could it be? As I was saying, we are going to explore the lighting options available to us in the Stone Age here, and bees are central to that. That's right, folks. Part of today is going to be involving going and finding some bees, which could take a while. Bees are notably difficult to find, or rather not difficult, just few and far enough between that they're not a guaranteed find all the time. But before that, we have some chores to do. First, I have been feeding our pigs. They are indeed, they're very close. 9 portions eaten. Spin, spin, spin. Get the pig tornado going on there. So once she has eaten this, at least one of these turnips here, the female should be ready to breed. Now you see, animals in Vintage Story are actually fungi, because the males release spores into the air, or maybe they're like a wind-pollinated flower more like. But males need to be within about 10 blocks of female, and as long as they are, then they can breed successfully, provided that the male has had 1 piece of food to eat and the female has had 10. The food eaten only counts after the female moves into the stage of ready to mate. And once again, we have lost our basket trap here. No food or no rabbit in here. They are getting very wily, these rabbits. Let's go ahead and place our trap. And this time I remembered to bring some bait with me. There are some other types of lighting to explore in the early game, and so we're going to do that first before we get to the hunt for bees. Let's see what we have over here. We have is that an unsprung trap? Oh, there we go. They're going right toward it. Why do they only seem to care about the trap when I get close? And nope. There's 3 bunnies over there. Every time. You turds. Get out of here. I do wonder if this is just too far from home and like their AI only activates when I'm nearby. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Female rabbit. Huh. We got one. A male hare. Okay. Well, Bun Bun. Get to hang out with your buds today. Out you go. As I mentioned at the end of last episode, it's getting kind of old having to come through every couple days and make sure that we break and replace all of our torches so they don't burn out. That has to be done every 48 hours, otherwise we have to keep making and lighting more torches, which just means a bit of a chore gathering grass and sticks. Not too onerous, but as our house expands, so do our relighting chores, and that's going to get old really fast. In the Stone Age, there are a couple lighting options, aside from torches, I mean. One, we have the ability to make small oil lamps if we can get our hands on some fat and a little bit of clay and a little bit of time. Another is if we get really lucky and we go exploring and we find an aged torch holder, then we can put a torch holder down and put a torch in it. That will cause the torch in it to never ever go out. But those are kind of few and far between, so you can't always rely on finding them in the very early game. You could also just go to a trader and buy some lanterns or some candles or other light-emitting objects, and we certainly could if we had the gears. We don't have the gears, so we're not going to do that. Our option today for better lighting is bees, because bees make beeswax, and beeswax can be turned into candles. Now, a single candle doesn't light much, but when you gather a bunch of them on a table together or on any surface together, up to 9 of them will create light that is about comparable to a torch, even a little bit better. So we're going to start by exploring why we want to go for bees rather than sticking with the oil lamps. To make an oil lamp, we're going to need some clay. Let's go ahead and hop up here. Now, if you're a returning veteran, you will need to note the change here. You used to be able to make oil lamps from clay bowls. This is no longer possible. You can only make them from the oil lamp crafting recipe, and unfortunately, unlike the bowls, there is no option to make 4 of them. Just go ahead and make a couple of these guys, and I find it easiest to start with the 2x2 here and just go around like this on the very edges, because the 2x2 is angled just so it works out perfectly. And we're going to build it this way, just follow all the green wireframe as usual, or if you've changed the color, then whatever color you have, and done. Oil lamp. Now, oil lamps are small objects that can be placed 4 in a square, which means for firing them, it's more efficient to make 4 rather than 1 at a time. I'm going to go ahead and make 3 more, and we will get to firing them. And now, we wait. Is what I would say if I hadn't sneakily, between episodes, cooked up a set of these already. Now, right now, we provide no light. We look at them in our inventory, no light. Put them down, also no light. We need to have a bit of rendered fat, which I have right here. I may have gone and done a bad thing to Bambi's mom over in our pit trap by our farm. And now you see, by combining it with a lump of fat, we get an earthy orange ceramic oil lamp that is no longer empty, and it provides light level 11. And you'll see it is now very much brighter. Now, these oil lamps can come in very handy. You can put them on the wall, and they'll get a little hanger to hold them on the wall, which is pretty cute. You can pick them up by right-clicking rather than by having to break them off the wall. And importantly, you'll see there is no timer on them. The torches say, burns for 40 hours when placed. These do not. We can place them, and they will stay lit forever. The downside is that their light level is 3 lower than a torch, at 11 as opposed to 14. That means that they will stop bad spawns in a much smaller radius, which does unfortunately make it more optimal to place them on the floor for lighting, and that way they will stop spawns in roughly a 3-block radius. On the wall here, they would only stop spawns in this immediate area around it, even though it does allow for illumination for the entire room. I break all these off of here. As you can see, it's not stupendous, but it does light up the whole room. Unlike torches, these do not go out when you dive underwater. So we can bring this with us, and although it seems a bit magical because the oil is just sitting there and there is a wick sticking out, these don't actually go out underwater. I wouldn't expect that to stay true forever, but for now, it certainly is. In fact, there was once a point where torches also didn't go out underwater, but now they do. I think for now, we're going to head to bed and wait until morning, and we're going to go and try to get some more fat to fill oil lamps with, and I'll show you why I don't like oil lamps too much as far as material gathering goes. Until then, I bid you all a good night. Alright, good morning, folks. I was making a meal to start the day out when I heard a certain howl. I wonder what that could be. If I could actually hit the darn thing. No. Okay. Well, we are going to take on this wolf here. There we go. Whew. That was a little harder with the lack of terrain in our favor here. We took out our first adult wolf. I did find another wolf pup earlier. We took care of that one as well. Let's go ahead and see what this guy has for us. Hey, we got one fat. All right. Not too shabby. And see, I was worried about that wolf because we heard that at the end of last episode after the temporal storm, which meant that the forest here had spawned at least one wolf. So I'm hoping that means that this forest is now safe, because we're going to have to look in that forest and search pretty hard as we start on our hunt for some bees. Okay, everything's set. I've got my inventory relatively clean. I'm bringing along some spare spearheads because we might end up tangling with the local wildlife, especially more bears and wolves in the forests, because bees can only be found where it's forested. Specifically, in a relatively wet forest. What that means is it needs to have at least a certain amount of rainfall. Where we are now, we have common rainfall. So as long as we see common or above, we will certainly have a chance to find bees in a forest. And basically, wherever you might see ferns, or where it says forest floor underfoot, that is where you can consider it to be a forest. This does include things like the shrublands you see, where there's lots of ferns and really tiny birch trees and just birch shrubs everywhere. Those are valid. Places like gravel deserts with nothing but pine trees are much less likely. You can find bees when it says uncommon, but because each of these is an approximate range, there's a range of uncommon that doesn't have bees, and a range of uncommon that might have bees. So, common is your best bet, but as long as it's not really dry looking, you should be alright. Now, to catch our bees, we're going to need a few things. We need what's called a skep. We're going to make a skep and bring it with us. And a skep is made from 16 cattails or papyrus arranged like this, and 2 pieces of clay like this will create an empty skep. We also need some flowers, and as I mentioned before, the red top grass no longer counts as flowers, but I have seen some flowers, let's see, on our map, some right here, some down yonder. We could go maybe check our traps and pick up some flowers along the way. So let's go do that real quick. This is also the part of the game where you're going to start needing a lot of cattails, or if you're in the south, papyrus. So I would recommend picking up as many of these as you can, as well as digging up the roots to bring with you and replanting them closer to home, especially if the reeds are far away. Noting that this could be a multi-day search, so we might also want to make or bring a bed along with us. I think we'll make one if we need one, and we'll use it at night, assuming it is still driftly outside. And the reason we need so many cattails is that you will need to make tons and tons and tons of skeps to get an appreciable amount of beeswax. Every skep you break will give you 3 honeycomb, which is enough beeswax to make 1 candle. And 1 candle doesn't do a whole lot of work. Now you do get some change when you break a skep. You get about half of the materials back, but that's not a lot, and you're going to be going through this stuff like toilet paper, so just be aware of that. And what have we here? Do we have a shaking basket with another male hare? You know what? I'm gonna let him go. We don't need him right now, so you get to go free, buddy. Yep. And they're sleeping. Okay, you know what? Whatever. Let's get some flowers. Now, the type of flower that you get is very, very important. Aside from not being red top grass, you really want to focus on lupins. And it's important because lupins are the coolest looking flower in the game and in real life, and I will judge you if you use other flowers. But no, really, as far as the bees are concerned, they don't care what kind of flower you get, as long as it is not red top grass, I guess. Okay, there we go. We have our 32 flowers. Let's start our search for bees. Searching for bees will take you into dangerous territory. We have to go into forests that are reasonably damp, and we see some ferns over there. We also see down here we have forest floor. That combination tells us we should be in an area that can support bees. If we check our character screen, we see that rainfall is indeed common here. Let's get our shield up and our spear out, and we're going to go in. Now, what you might want to do is you might want to open your options menu and come into your settings, go to sound, and turn your ambient sound level up. This will turn up certain things, but especially it will turn up bees. And you'll see why this is important when we find some bees. We're going to proceed carefully. You may want to occasionally use F5 if you're not too deep in the woods, and zoom out to see if you spot any bears or wolves from afar. I don't see any, so I'm going to proceed with caution. You might also, for taller trees, look up in the boughs of the trees, and if you spot any little yellow particles zipping about, then that is a surefire sign of bees. I'm not hearing any, and with the sound turned all the way up and my music turned all the way off, I'm not hearing anything on this side of these little woods here. So I'm thinking there's not anything over here. The rain is going to make hearing the bees somewhat difficult. You can see we have an animal corpse here. One here, what do we have? A bunny. Partially eaten by another creature. What that does mean is that was a smaller animal that attacked and killed that. Probably that fox right there. We're going to try to see if we can take him out, because I would like another. Coming for us. Yeah, here we go, buddy. Would like another fox hide. There we go. Alright, and that was a bit reckless of me, rushing after that fox, but we survived. It's fine. Totally fine. We also have here, once again, some more cattails. We're going to pick these up on the way while we're here. Okay, with that done, let's kind of go up the other side of this little shrubby forest area. Maybe we can stab this deer to death, huh? We got him. Let's see if he's mad at us or afraid of us. Oh, this is the sheep. I don't want to hurt you, actually, sheep. But I'm going to anyway. And this here is precisely why I prefer bees and candles to trying to hunt for fat. Now, if you're raising animals, it's a different story. But chasing down animals to hunt them for their fat is just not a winner in my book. Got him that time. Alright. So, we got one fat from that, and now we're hungry. I'm also going the wrong direction, I think. Yes, I am. Let's make our way home, and we will climb our way, or we'll stalk our way up the north side of these woods, and see what else there is to be seen, and more specifically, heard, or given the rain, not heard. Oh, and that is a boar. You know what? Go for a boar. Why not? There we go. Alright. I think hearing bees might be a bit of a difficult proposition with all this rain going on. I'll try it. There's another deer. Looks like a fawn of some kind. We are likely to be attacked by wolves here where we can't see them where they get close. Ooh, another fox. Alright. Well, we got a piece of fat from that. That's not too shabby at all. Okay, we've gotten everything I think that we can from this little piece of woods over here. Since we're so close to home, I am going to go home and, ooh, we are going to at least chop down these cattails here. They're so close, I don't need to move them right now. But I will go ahead and, I guess, make a new knife first. And I'll see you all at home, and we're going to go over what to do with this fat now that we have a whole bunch of it. Alright, we are back, and I am rendering the fat, but here we're going to talk about why I think fat is a suboptimal method of lighting your house. And that's not just because fat is sometimes difficult and risky to get, but also because there are other uses contending for your fat. You need fat to oil hides, and later in the game, you'll need fat to create things like axles and gears and other advanced parts. So we're only going to have 2 lamps worth. Here we go. That's all done. I'm also going to do this. We got 4 oiled fox hides now. There we go. We have 1 more lump of fat, And if we don't use it to preserve some hides, then those hides are going to go to waste. And we only have one lump of fat left. I think I'm going to do 2 of the medium hides. And we're going to use one of the large hides, and we're going to turn it into a rawhide wrap. Oh, we need more than 1 large hide. We need 3 large hides. Oh, wow. That's a lot of hide for 1 degree of warmth. Oh, and I have 1 more piece of fat to do, too. Well, well, well. Anyway, I'm going to make us a fresh pot of soup or stew, and then we'll be on our way to checking out this forest for some bees once again. Okay, chores done. Pigs, well, maybe fed. See if they eat anything. It is time for us to head off. I think because it's raining so hard over here, I'm going to avoid that forest until it's cleared up. And I'm going to head over to the woods over on this side of our little explored area and see if it's cleared up over there, because I think yeah, I'm not seeing clouds over there. So we should be okay in going that way. You went to the basket just to sleep. Okay. Well, we will avoid your immediate area then. And let's check the character screen. It is still common here, so that means we should be good as far as bees are concerned. Boy, that's a bit of a cave. Let's see what we can find in here, and hope that it doesn't find us first. I'm being very quiet on the microphone so that I can hear if there are any bees or anything snorting at us. Now, bears and wolves do have some idle sounds, so keep your ears out. You might be able to hear them growling at you, or just howling in general. They do tend to sleep from the hours of, I believe, 10 in the morning until about 3 in the afternoon. Oh, got some berries. We must have scared off a raccoon. And these are gold drop milk cap. These, I don't believe they'll kill you. Let's find out. They will hurt you though, so don't eat them. I believe they're also another psychedelic mushroom. Some bearded tooth, not too shabby. Shiitake, excellent. You'll also find some of these growing around. Horsetail. These are considered flowers for bees. However, they're also useful to the player because they can be made into poultices, some of the more basic poultices in the game, by combining them with some cattails. And we're getting... ooh. Now that awoo is from a baby wolf, a pup. Look at this. We have a yellow splotch growing on a tree, and some white oyster mushrooms. Let's see what this is. This is a leaking pine log with resin. That means that any of the pine trees in this area might also have resin, because it is based on a distribution. It generates sort of in random patches throughout the world. And you can acquire it by simply right-clicking and holding on it. I'm going to craft on it first. There we go. Right-click and hold. And we got some. That's great. Because, as a blackguard, we are not guaranteed a drop. Normally, you would get 1 resin per gathering action. But as a blackguard, we are not guaranteed that. Now, resin only spawns on naturally spawned pine trees. Unless you're using a mod. There are mods that allow you to acquire them by growing your own pine trees, or even by scoring pine trees with a knife. It is not possible in vanilla, and since it only spawns on natural pine trees, you do not want to be caught by the Forest Service chopping down those pine trees. So before you chop down any natural pine trees, always be careful and take a moment to check for the presence of any leaking pine logs. We are about out of forest to check here, but I'm not seeing much of anything else going on here. I'm not hearing anything. I hear a goat. So maybe we can look down in this area, and you'll see me popping through occasionally. That's a brown bear. We're going this way. Oh boy. We don't want to fight him in this terrain here. We're going to try maybe going over that little hill here. Oh, interesting. This is something new to the game in 1.22. As you can hear, it is very loud water. That rushing water is a new kind of water that is specific to being used for water wheels. You can technically use it for farming and irrigation and can get water in buckets from it, but it doesn't spread like normal water does. As you saw, it kind of had a single tail there, and it is used primarily for turning water wheels. Now, bears can, in addition to sleeping throughout the day, they can also go on rampages, where they will specifically sniff out and seek out other creatures. We have some more copper bits. I'll go ahead and mark those. It is now uncommon here. So here we are less likely to find bees. So I think I'm going to move on. And I think, here we go. We're getting into territory that is not likely to have bees. We have here a gravel desert. But I do see some more forest beyond it. So it might be worth taking a look down in the south here. Let's go ahead and make our way through here, keeping an eye and ear out for more bears. Bears can spawn in much lower rain concentrations than bees can. So you want to be aware. We're unlikely to find bears spawning right here, but like in that sort of shrubbery covered stuff, we certainly can. It is getting toward nighttime, and so I think what I'm going to do before we get on too much farther is I'm going to gather just enough grass to make a bed. Again, that's 24 grass. There we go, and turn them into 3 bales of hay, and then into a hay bed. We can just dig a little hidey hole, sleep through the night, skip all the nastiness of the night. I spy a rabbit moving. That means there's nothing here that is too dangerous where the rabbit would be running from it. And we have some ruins here. Oh, these are cool. Ooh, and we have some bony soil. So, ruins are a great way of acquiring interesting things with one more out there. I think I will take a moment to stop here and see what there is to see. This looks like to be some kind of old village, and I see here we have some vessels. Vessels are a great way of acquiring also interesting things. They're actually the main way of gathering resources and treasure from ruins. Now, tool vessels, we're going to be careful with this one. Tool vessels can kind of shoot you forward in terms of game ability and technology. We got a single copper knife and a flint shovel from that. That's not bad. And the copper knife is not really an advancement in technology. All it is a knife that does what this one does, but has a bit more durability, about double. If we got extra lucky, we might have gotten a pickaxe out of that. But we didn't, and therefore I don't have to pretend like we didn't get one. I saw another vessel over here. Let's get our light out. Ah, here it is. What is this one? A farming vessel. What do we have here? Ooh, we got some seeds of some kind. I'm going to throw out this old shovel. There we go. Ooh, we got cabbage seeds. Oh, baby. Cabbage seeds are a nice find. A nice, nice find. Cabbage is a very powerful vegetable. A single cabbage has 300 satiation. And when cooked, that means it turns into 450. So this is a very nice vegetable. They also grow in relatively cold weather. Not great for if you're in the south. And more onions too. I might grab their seeds while we're here. And we're going to set up camp here for the night. We'll put some things away in our basket here. And we'll sleep the night here. And we'll make it through the morning. And hopefully, we'll be fine. I left my basket at home. Oops. I guess we're not going to be storing a lot of new things here. Oh well. Good morning, folks. It is dawn of the next day, and the food that was previously in our bowl has rotted. And that means we can't use that bowl until we wash it out. If you have food that goes bad in a bowl or a pot, then you too will need to wash it before you can reuse it. All you have to do is drop it into some water, and you hear that sound. I don't need this rot. There we go. You can hold your sprint key and right click, and you will then dump your food on the ground, or dump the water on the ground. Oh, and there's some more resin right here. Well, well, well. Did we get it? We did not. Again, we're a blackguard, that is bound to happen. But let's dig into what we can find in these ruins while we're looking for bees, and see if there's anything interesting. So we have here this bony soil. This, to me, is very interesting. We haven't gotten to panning yet, but I think we're going to have to in the near future. Now, bony soil in a ruin can sometimes mean that if you dig deeper, you might find something interesting. Here, that is not the case. And also where you find like larger patches here like this, we could find interesting things underneath here. Or just rock. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you don't. Here we go, here's a deep one. Oh, this one looks a little bad. A lot of bony soil here. People died here, oh no. Oh, we got another loot vessel. What have we here? Another tool vessel. Let's see what's here. Just an axe, okay. Well, you know what, we'll take that. It is possible to find basements in these places. Oh, we have the onions here too. I almost forgot about those. I would very much like the onion seeds, because we are kind of low on them at home. We only have a few, and we only got 2 of those. Oh well, that's okay. But let's go dig around under here and see if there's anything else in these ruins. Yep, we have some bony soil at least. Does this lead us anywhere? Oh, I think we have a basement. Here we go. So some buildings will have little basements you can explore, and they sometimes have good stuff in them. If you find a staircase leading down, it's in your best interest to see where it goes. Let's get our lamp in our hand here. What do we have? A spider web, okay. Not terribly interested in those. Oh, we have, ooh, my people died here. A tool vessel. What do we have? A knife. Just a stone knife, okay. We also have these bones here. I'm a little loath to break them. Don't want to disturb the dead. Oh, we have a storage vessel. That is news. Nothing else down here except for another ore vessel. Here we go. What do we have in here? We got some ore. Oh, we got a fresh shovel too from that. Ore galena. Galena is a kind of ore. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Galena is a lead ore, and it is used for making limited chalcos, among other things. Let's go ahead and fill this thing up, and we'll carry it with us, actually. We got our first sort of leap forward in technology, which is a lantern. Look how much brighter and yellower the light is. This is the sort of end goal of your journey into beeswax, lanterns. Now this lantern is one of the old lanterns. There are actually new and old lanterns in the game, and this is one of the old ones, meaning it has a slightly larger radius than the modern lanterns do. But that storage vessel was an excellent find, as was the lantern. That made this very much worth it right off the bat, even though we don't have any bees yet. I think that's about it for this set of ruins. So let's move on. I did spot another ruin somewhere here. Where was that? Yes, this is the roof that we saw earlier. This one's buried pretty deep, looks like. But it is near the woods, where there is also another wolf over there. We might want to go and take care of him now before things get a little worse. The second wolf right there. Seems to be getting stuck on the landscape geometry. Oh well. Well, at least he's scared off for the time being. Ah, they're up here still. Okay. Well. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness, he drops down. Oh my goodness, again. Alright. Got you. Okay. It's a bit lucky there that he didn't get to bite us. Oh, there's a black bear, though. We have a black bear pelt at home, and I would very much like to have another one. He's also going over to where our next adventure is here. I'm going to place down our vessel somewhere here, maybe like right here. We're going to go after that bear. I don't see him yet, which makes me a bit nervous. Oh, he's right there. There we go. Whew, we got him. Oh boy, heart pounding right there. I saw those claws right in front of my face. That was quite terrifying, I have to say. It was an experience for sure. Anyway, let's get back on track. We have a few days here before we need to worry about our fat and our hides spoiling. But let's see, I did mark that on the map here. We can go and pick this guy up now. Let's put a few things in it. We got this. We have... maybe we'll put the bones in here. So, I'm going to dig up some of this ruin here with a shovel, because apparently I threw out my only one. And once that's done, I'm going to continue the hunt for bees. I'll only pull you guys back in here if I find anything interesting. Oh, like bony soil. Just one, though. Well, that didn't take long before I found something cool. Let's take a look. So right down here, I was digging down in this little house we found, and I found this little shaft down. I've already dug out part of this room. We have some bony soil to pick up. We have a tool vessel. What did we get? We got an axe. We got 2 stone axes. Nothing special there. I'm going to try to leave these behind if I can. There we go. However, I kept digging further down, and I dropped down into a little chamber here. Let's see what might be found here. I'm not seeing much, but maybe we can get some of this out of our way. We have a broken anvil, a large crate full of junk, and we do have a large pile of junk metal. We got some metal parts. There's not much we can do with this for now, but we'll keep it for later, assuming our inventory doesn't fill up with junk too badly. And that was the last interesting thing in those ruins, but I do spy over here another ruin with foxes resting nearby. No longer. Let's take one peek under here, and then we'll be able to start venturing into these woods, back to a common rainfall area. So I'm hopeful we might find some bees in here. Well, what have we here? Perhaps another basement-like feature. I believe so. Look at this. This has just another metal barrel and some more large pile of junk metal. Probably more of those metal pieces. Yeah, metal parts. Kind of a bust, honestly. That's kind of a shame. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to remove this waypoint here. I'm going to place down our brand new vessel right in here. And we'll mark this as the location where our vessel is. All right. Our location is marked. Let's gently and carefully head into the forest. Again, I prefer to search along the edges first before diving in too deep. I spy some more resin. Could be worth going for here. Didn't get it. Aha, look. Some more resin. Ah. So toward this side, we're getting toward the uncommon area of rainfall. So let's stick to the parts down here. We're back in common, which means actually going into the forest. And the wind can sometimes make it sound like there are bees nearby. Yeah, false alarm. I thought I heard some bees. That's a wolf. Well, it is getting dark, so let's quickly make our way back to where we set up camp here, and we will sleep through the night once again. Alright, folks. We're back at base camp. I have actually put our vessel in here, and I think we'll seal it up so that we can keep on adventuring for as long as we need to without worrying about our hides and our fat spoiling. But let's rest up, and we'll see you in the morning. Alright, let's see. So we went through a good chunk of the forest here and didn't find anything. Maybe we'll go south toward where these red trees are growing. I might even just sort of cut through here rather than trying to wend our way around. That way we'll maybe expose ourselves to some more of the forest. and see what there is to see. Let's get our shield back out. This will, of course, make us hungrier, but that's okay. And in we go. Oh, I spy something cool. We have here our very first fruit tree. A pink apple tree. That's very cool. We can't do a whole lot with this right now. But I saw another one there. I mean, we could bring some branches home, but seeing how this is young, we wouldn't get that many cuttings for planting. It's still common right here. This is just a patch of gravel. Let's maybe head over this way. Something else you can do? If we turn the weather sounds down, we're nearly off. We'll be able to hear even better if there are bees nearby. My goodness. There is no getting away from these things, is there? I am going to really quickly grab a handful of these. And we'll go grab a few of those horsetail from earlier. Assuming there's some, yeah, right here. Here we go. And we're going to make some poultices to heal our wounds. Oh, they only made 4. Okay. We can hold right click and you'll see it takes a moment, but it will apply a poultice, and you'll see a green covering on your bar there that indicates that is the health that you will heal once your heal action is done. There we go. I'm going to grab some more of these. I could have sworn that it was 2 horsetail and 4 cattail, or 4 poultices, but apparently it is the reverse. So I think we're going to do this song and dance all over again, and hopefully we get to keep our face. Here's a nice open field for us to fight in. Should be plenty. Oh, if I don't miss. Gotcha. You gonna come back for me, dude? No? There you are. Oh, move! Oh! Why can I not move? My goodness. That was irritating. Oh. Kidding me. To stab you with a knife? Come on. Knife, do your trick. Or don't. Seems very dangerous. Let's get those 2 more spears I threw. And we'll see if we can finish them off this time. Oh, I'm starving. Fighting is very, very hungry work, isn't it? We'll also heal up a bit as we're on our way back to the bear. Ah, there he is. Okay, one last shot took care of him. Whew. Spicy work. Spicy work indeed. No fat this time, just some meat and some bones and the hide. I think aside from getting stuck on the terrain a couple times there, we did alright. Let's be off, and this time let's not get distracted by bears. Got him. Okay. This was one that we must have wounded earlier because he didn't put up much of a fight. I hear what I think is water. That's a red maple tree. Oh, those are cool. They aren't anything special aside from their appearance. But maybe they'll have a beehive. Nope. And nope. But our search for bees so far has been a bit of a bust. And that is the reality of searching for bees sometimes. Especially when you're looking for them specifically. Huh? Do you hear that? I hear it. Well, well, well. No sooner had I said bees were a bust. They're still farther up here. Oh, I hear them. They're very close now. There they are. There's our hive. Check that out. I'm going to go ahead and mark it. A large wild beehive. Well, this is exciting. And of course, my skep is back in our vessel up here. Because of course it is. But we can probably just make a fresh one here in situ. Not a big deal. When you find a beehive, do not destroy it. Whatever you do. No matter what your mother tells you, do not disturb the bees. You want to go and find your skep, and maybe find the flowers that you left. Maybe I will just go get the skep that we had, and I will be right stat back. It was at this moment he realized the skep and flowers he got are still in the basket back at home. So I guess we're going to make a new skep and gather some more flowers. I'm going to put the skep and hang it off the tree right here. That will keep raccoons from getting to it. Then we're just going to pepper this area with these flowers. And what will happen is at some point, this will update to show nearby flowers 32, hopefully. And the population size should quickly grow. That only happens a couple times per day. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back to our little hidey hole. Or maybe we'll just camp out up here, and we'll come back in the morning and see how they're doing. Time for another bed and a hidey hole. Alright, good morning folks. It is about that time to go check on the bees. Our skep is still empty, but it says that their population is large, will swarm in less than a day. As you can hear, the wolves are already swarming. Let's maybe not hang out right there. But we're going to go kill some time, and I'm going to gather up some resources, maybe make a pit stop over at the other way station to drop off some things and compact our inventory. And the reason is that, just like with the basket traps, once our skep is full, we need to put it in one of the slots down here. So we need to be able to take this guy out and leave him out, and only then will we be able to bring our skep home with us. So I'm going to keep that empty for now, I think, just so we don't fill up too much. And I'm going to go and maybe pick some of these flax if they're ready. I don't think they are yet. No, they're not. But maybe I'll check out that field and see what else we can find over here. So I'll see all of you in just a little bit. Alright, folks. It has been a good portion of the day. I have found, while I've been out here, someone's home. So, let's go see who is here. Hello. What's your name? It's Elsu. What do you trade, Elsu? Very cool. Elsu is a survival goods supplier. They will sell us things like tools. In fact, tools that would vault us very far forward in the technology tree of Vintage Story. Also, weapons and salt and sewing kits and some warm boots, and a wolf pup. We can sell him survival goods, so charcoal and some kind of ingots, some clothing, lanterns, and these are the small lanterns that are new in 1.22. These provide the same amount of light that the original large lanterns did, and now the large ones actually provide more light than previously. They'll also buy flax twine and feathers. That's good to know. Oh, also, I have a mod on called Day Trader that shows the price in a color. If the price is green, then it is a reasonably good, or maybe even the best. Look over here, this is the best price you can get, although it's also the only price you can get for charcoal. If it is in red, that means it is among the worst prices you can get. It also shows a range of prices that you can find that item at, or sell the item for, at that specific type of trader. Because some traders will offer more or fewer gears, depending on what type of trader they are. This way, if you are building up a trade network, then you can easily identify what things are worth buying and selling. It is getting later on in the day, so let's go take a peek over... Oh, it's a big hog! Okay, he's running away. Whew! Yikes. Let's go take a look at our skep and see if it is ready for us to collect. Alright, we are here once again. Let's hope that wolf has gone away. I even see it. See how that little hole in the front is no longer black? It actually has a little bit of sort of gray honeycomb in it. Let's go grab that. Yes. Alright. And I'm going to put a fresh one down. I made one while we were still out. And the reason for that is that way, if something happens to the bees at our house, because bees are a renewable resource, except for those hives, of course, then we can come back here and just grab a fresh skep to start over, rather than having to place one down, wait for it to populate, and go from there. Now, I am going to make my way down from here and get back to our other way station, where our lantern and our vessel are waiting for us, and I will see you all when we are ready to head out. Although it is getting kind of dark, so I might wait until morning. Well, folks, that's going to about do it for this episode of the Vintage Story Guide. I hope you enjoyed our huge romp through the woods, and I hope you learned something about how to search for and find your first bees. Hopefully your only bees. This has been somewhat of a marathon episode, so I think we're going to call it here, and I will meet you all back at home at the beginning of next episode, assuming our trek home goes smoothly. Otherwise, expect to see me again sooner. In the next episode, we are going to put our bees to work. We're going to give them flowers to pollinate and drink nectar from, and they're going to provide our very first honeycomb, which we can turn into beeswax and honey, and the beeswax into candles. The names scrolling by on the screen belong to the awesome people who have signed on to the channel as members. If you'd like to see your name in the credits too, get early access to videos on the channel, or hear me butcher your name in the next part, then check out what's on tap in the channel memberships. The following folks have gone the extra mile to support the channel by signing on at the Seraph tier. Their names are Elizabeth Woolley, Inger Raymond, Joshua Saruda, Linda Harris, Mad Lord Hubris, Oak Tree, Servus, Smiley Builds, Snow Silver, Sue Wallace, Tyluna, and Wade Parker. As always, my name has been Kurazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.